Hey, welcome to OLC 40. This is class 9, and we are working on, I think actually unit 2, as a matter of fact. But anyways, all right, here is the information to reach me. I am in the office from 9 to 12 and 1 to 4. I'm in the studio right now for this course, 1-800-465-7144. You can reach me at the WASA office just to talk to me about homework or whatever. 1-800-667-3703. You can fax me the information at 1-800-463-7852. My email is jillian.percy@nnecschools.org. And my YouTube is capital G, capital P, ERCY space, capital WAHSA. And I apologize, I know I was coughing a lot yesterday and I could be coughing again today. I am working on it. I should be better soon, but in the meantime, I appreciate your patience. All right, so grammar. We try to do a little bit of grammar each day because there's a lot to learn and I don't want to overwhelm you guys. So in English, when we want to show that an item belongs to someone or something, we usually add an apostrophe and an S on the end of the word. So for example, Fred's backpack, Mom's car, Kukum's house, Lukey's boat. Possessive nouns. This works when the word is singular, meaning there's one. If the word's plural, then it usually ends in an S. So we don't usually add an extra S. We just put the apostrophe after the original S like this. The students' lounge, the teachers' parking lot, our dogs' food, our province's agreement. If the word is plural, but it doesn't end in an S, we just continue using the apostrophe plus S format. So for example, the children's playground, the oxen's barn, the men's retreat, the women's dinner party, the geese's migration route. Now, sometimes we don't have a noun, so if there's a pronoun instead. So here are the possessive pronouns. We do not use an apostrophe S with the pronouns, okay? So I like my shoes. That goes with the pronoun I. Let's drive your car, goes with you. His textbook was stolen, goes with he. Her makeup looks great, goes with she. The dog knocked over its food dish. This is the one where everybody kind of wants to add a apostrophe. But we'd only do apostrophe if it was a contraction. It's not a contraction. Our house is blue. The our goes with we. Your family is very nice. It goes with you, plural. And their brother is the mayor. That counts whether it's female, male, mixed, doesn't matter. We don't say hers or he's, it's their. Okay, so we've been working on the rubric. Just wanted to quickly go back over it. Purpose, organization, visual elements, design elements, and language. So today we're going to be focusing on the visual elements. And I know we kind of worked a little bit ahead because I was coughing up a storm, but here we are. So you have your format, page 1, and page 6, which is your back, and 5, which is your extra. And on the inside, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So the moment you're starting to think about visual things, you're going to want to think about color. Okay, it's a huge impact on how we look at things. So this is a traditional color wheel, and it's one of the things that artists and designers study a fair bit, so they understand it and understand how to use colors correctly. So one really easy scheme is a monochromatic color scheme. It can look really great. You can see there's still a wide variety of colors and contrasts. Blue, red, green, they all look really nice. Yellow would be tricky to use. Yellow will turn into other colors very quickly. Analogous colors are when there's colors sitting together. So for example, these 3 colors are sitting together. So are these 3. It doesn't always have to be 3. You could do 5, like let's say you wanted to include the green and over here include the red. That's fine too. You wouldn't use them all in the same amount, and you probably wouldn't use them all in the same intensity. Some might be a little bit lighter, some might be a little bit darker. So here's an example right here. You can see I'm right here, the blue, and then there's a purple. And then I used a light kind of magenta color, really, really light, it's almost white. And then this way, oh, I think I doubled up. I did a dark as well, another dark one, which is fine. And then I skipped over and did one in here. For the analogous, you can see I used the orange red, kind of a pinky color, a darker red, right? It's fine to use more than one. A great site to play around with some different color schemes called Adobe Color. Here's that, the URL is right there. Some other color schemes are complementary. Complementary are when they're right across each other from the color wheel. So if you're looking here, here, I'm going to erase these marks real quick. Okay. Anytime it's directly across, it's a complementary scheme. So I'm going to use the black for this. This purple is directly across. Now, something's wrong there because it should be across from green. Purple should be across from yellow. Blue should be across from orange. Red should be across from green. So this one is not quite made up properly. I apologize, I didn't realize that when I was doing it. Complementary are across from each other. So yeah, orange and blue, purple and yellow, red and green. Now here I've used them at equal intensity. That's very strong. If you were going to use that was strong a contrast, you might use like a lot of the purple and then a little touch of yellow. Okay, but you don't have to use them at the same contrast. You can make one really dark and one really light, and then you can see you end up with some very sophisticated kind of color schemes that also really catch the eye, right? Artists have been using these for years and years, hundreds of years, and it's just they're eye-catching. We like them. All right, split complementary. This is using the this is what the Adobe color wheel will look like. So here, green is your main color, and going across, you'd kind of be here in this red zone, but they're sliding a little bit over and grabbing the orangey kind of color, and then a little lighter kind of orangey color, and then over to here, grabbing a purple and a little bit lighter. So these are perfectly acceptable. Again, you wouldn't use these all in equal amounts. This might be the dominant color. These might be little accents. Or you might decide, oh, you know what, I like having them, but I'm really going to only use that. Or I don't like this one after all. Maybe I'll use this one instead. That's totally fine. Here's another one. The blue is the dominant. Across from it should be like an orange. Instead, they've gone over and grabbed some yellow, some very dark yellow, because yellow turned a little bit green. And then so dark that it's starting to turn kind of white almost. And same thing over here. They grab one kind of in the red shade, again, darkened. And then over here, you can just see a titch of pink in there. So it isn't always obvious, some of the colors that you're choosing, but again, this is really pleasing to the eye. Triadic color scheme. Triadic color schemes are three colors that are an equal distance apart from each other on the wheel. You might add in lighter or darker versions of one of these colors for variety. So here, you could just do three, right? So I could just do the green and the middle, this item, and then maybe one of these. But it's totally okay to grab a little darker color. Again, they wouldn't necessarily all be in equal elements. And then over here, the green is technically dominant, although to me the purple looks a little bit dominant. And these are your accent colors. These are the tetradic color schemes. Tetra is like for four. A square one would be equally distributed around the wheel. Here it's kind of nice, also nice pastels, not too dark, not too light. A rectangular tetradic will be kind of closer together on one side and farther apart on the other. It ends up being really like two complementary colors, like the blue and the orange are really a complement, and then the purple and the yellow. And then we've kind of got this is our neutral, right? You can also pick colors in a more intuitive way. If you love fall colors, you could try the red, orange, yellow, and brown. If you love the cool winter colors, blues, greens, aquas, and some purples might work for you. You can think of a summer garden with green with little pops of yellow, blue, and pink, or some dark and mysterious colors such as deep grays, moody purples, eerie greens, and maybe some red or orange for contrast. You can also just go to town and pick whatever colors you like. So a lot of times, different colors sort of indicate different types of emotions or make people feel a certain way. This is a nice little graphic I found that shows the different brand names and where they land on the color rainbow. So like Nikon, UPS, Subway, Shell, these all are yellow and are aiming for clarity and warmth. Friendly, cheerful, confidence, we've got the orange. Nickelodeon, Hooters, of course. Fanta. Crush. Red, we've got Kellogg's and Nintendo. Coca-Cola, Target, Lego. Over in purple. A lot of these I haven't seen. I would have said Barbie was purple. I would say it was pink. Welch's, Hallmark, Taco Bell. Blue, dependable strength. We've got Dell, HP, Oreo, Facebook, Oral-B. In green, we've got green, John Deere, Tropicana, Spotify. Some of these I don't know, sorry. And then gray is kind of balanced and calm. So the Cartoon Network, Apple. This is a car one. Here we've got Nike, Puma. Another example of this would be like this movie, for example. They used blue to show sadness. They used red to show anger, green to show disgust, purple to show fear, and yellow to show joy. Now, you may not necessarily agree with this. For example, I would never think of purple as being a fearful color. I would think of it as like a creative color. But there's no denying that different colors do evoke different emotions for different people. So a lot of times we don't even realize that we are responding to color when we look at advertisements or brochures. Color can evoke both positive and negative connotations. This graphic designer explains some of the common ways we interpret color. I don't know if this will let me grab it or not. Hang on a second. I'm having a bit of problems with that. No, it won't let me grab it. I apologize. I will get that straightened out. Okay, going on from color, lines. Lines can also draw the eye to information. So here we got this big triangle and it's pointing downwards and it's pointing to the words, we want to help you. Here, the graphic with the cross is trying to show the 4 different people that'll be involved in the program. Here, this line of lightning, it's kind of suggesting urgency. It's highlighting the phrase act now. So in addition to color, the lines can also affect how your brochure looks. Oh, I found this lovely little graphic. This was actually on a photographer site. And he was pointing out how different types of photographic compositions can evoke different types of emotions. And I wanted to kind of go over this because maybe you're not photographing stuff, but you are creating a composition. And if you've never really kind of worked with art before, this might be kind of a new thing. So I thought this might be helpful for some people. So for the first part, angles can imply agitation, confusion, clashing, insecurity, action, or strife. So these aren't all negative. Like agitation might be negative. Agitation might be negative, but action might be positive, right? Verticals can show dignity, strength, permanence, stability, and awe. Horizontal lines can show repose, calm, quietude, peace, tranquility. Radii, these guys coming out from the, I think it's supposed to be the Lady Liberty, is showing glory, devotion, duty, patriotism, unity, ambition, and freedom. Spirals, right? Here's some more radiation for shock and attention. kind of a little more intense than just the radii, right? Spirals are these curves here for motion, power, and excitement. Then we've got the triangles for permanence or security. Rhythm. Rhythm is when the line's kind of repeating, right? It's not exactly the same like repetition, but it's similar. Shows grace, charm, and movement. Light. Light indicates hope, love, ambition. These kind of broken shapes suggest instability or uncertainty. Obliques, these kind of slanted lines. Combat, confusion, or clashing. The rectangles make you think of stability or strength or unity. The circles, immensity, vastness, eternity, motion, equality, deliverance. Then sliding slightly over, the ovals make people think of femininity, creativity, sensuosity, grace, perpetuation. Not sure I agree with that one, but I will take a photographer's word for it. And then next over, we have informal subdivision. I think by informal, he means like it's not symmetrical. Like over here, we have formal or symmetrical division, which implies dignity, unity, balance, formality, and strength. Okay, we can also use shape. Different shapes can evoke different feelings as well, right? He talked about how triangles seem stable and long rectangles can seem very calming. Here we've got kind of a cloud to could be a great way to set off a headline or a graphic. The banner could be up top, kind of drawing your eye. Then we've got the little speech bubble, indicating that someone was talking. Over here, we got a little graphic of somebody going out the door. We kind of set it off with like a little triangular shape of a different color to make it really pop. When you're making your brochure, you can swing a picture right across 3 panels. You can fade it into transparency. Right here would be, I think, yeah. So here you can see it's non-transparent, and then if you went over here, it'd be actually invisible, right? You can also go right across just 2 panels if you want to. Maybe there's an informational panel over here. Here's the big headline. Here's maybe a little division. It can make the panel seem more unified when you go across more than one little section. Visual elements. It's possible you may find some relevant charts or graphs on the internet that pertain to your topic. It's totally fine to include them. Just list the URL where you found the information from. You're also welcome to make your own diagrams or pictures or include your own photos. Google Slides has the ability to help you create diagrams, charts, or tables if you want. Let me give you some quick examples on the next page. Okay. So first, if you click on the button up top of Google Slides where it says Insert, it shows you all the different types of things you can insert. Diagram is one of them. The chart button actually kind of links itself up to another software program, which we're not really using. So I found it didn't quite work for what we were hoping for. But grab the diagram button because there's a lot of fun things in there. Okay. Diagram, you'll see it'll list grid, hierarchy, timeline, process, relationship, cycle. What are you trying to show? And if you're not sure, click view all, just look at everything. Okay. It is a great little tool to experiment with. I can't possibly show you all. There's just way too much there. But, just take 3 or 4 minutes and cycle through some of the examples. Okay, so here's some samples. This might be the timeline. Maybe you might use this to show the time involved in contacting a program, entering the program, time in the program, and then leaving the program. And I entered information here, but here they've just put like holder text. You would just click on it and write whatever text you want to there. Okay. Over here, this is from the cycle tab. It was originally all this blue color. Okay. The nice thing is you can go in and change things. So I could make this red. I could change just part of it to a darker blue. I can leave the text their color. I can make it bigger. I can change the size of it, the font. So it's a different type of font completely. It still maintains its same shape, but I can change so many things on here. Okay, I liked the look of this graphic. It makes me think of different building blocks for health, or say the foundations of parenting. Over here, we have a diagram that can show a hierarchy or a family tree. It can also show different paths or different choices that people could make. Here, this is another one that might be good for describing the steps. Like, here's step 1, here's step 2, here's step 3. This one I kind of played a little bit with. You don't want to spend forever on this part playing with these things, but it can be a really easy and fun way to jazz up your brochures. It can end up making them look very professional. So when I installed this, it was all the same color. It was just uh, the holder text. I created my own little graphic. Useful text content, plus a great layout and color scheme, plus interesting graphics and visuals creates an A+ brochure. So with just a tiny little bit of help, I was able to get a nice little graphic going. Okay. Another thing you want to think about when you're putting your text in here is you may want to do like a little list of bullet points or numbers and steps to list little short chunks of information that can often look quite good. We're going to talk about font matters. Let me see if it'll let me pull up some stuff. You can see this little font. It's got cute little hearts and it says, "I will always find you." And this looks a little sketchier. It almost looks like somebody like wrote it in blood or like carved it into a wall with a knife or something. This doesn't look so sweet. This looks kind of scary. So it's the same words, but one seems sweet, like, "Oh, no matter where you go, I will find you, my love." And this one seems kind of threatening, like, "Oh, you can't run from me. I will always find you." So different types of fonts can look casual, formal, businesslike, silly, or even creepy. Graphic artists can choose what font to use with a lot of different care. Okay, let me see if it'll let me do this. Hang on a second. Sorry, it will not let me grab YouTube today. There's a lovely little video on typography. If you want to see some more examples, just type the word typography into YouTube and a bunch of different fun stuff will come up. I grabbed some examples too, but I just thought the video might be nice. Okay, typography is just literally the letters, right? So you can change what kind of font you're using, the color, the size, the style. There are several different main types of font or categories of font. They each have their uses and everybody has their favorites. Here are some examples that imitate handwriting. These ones might be great to use if you want to include a quote or a testimonial, like, "This doctor was so helpful." I am so glad I joined this program. I had nowhere to turn. This changed my life. The staff are so easy to talk to. Now I have hope. Now, these are beautiful, but they might be hard to read if you tried to write a whole bunch of text in it. So you would want to use these judiciously. Okay. So this typography is called a serif. Serif are tiny strokes or lines at the beginning or end of a letter. Let me see if I can kind of just show you really quickly. Let me do this. Okay. So this does not have serifs. Let me show you what serifs would look like by changing it to something that does have. Okay. See these little tiny strokes on the L, and you see a few of them up here on the V. Sometimes the E would have one. Those are called serifs. They're a little bit old-fashioned. In older days, when they used to use fountain pens to write, these kind of lines were very common due to the kind of writing that they did. So here are some examples of different fonts that have serifs. This business is mine. We have a program for you. You can do this. Think about where this leads. Do you want help? And what's next for you? Now, if you're trying to find different things with serifs, what I would honestly just do is write a word or write a phrase like, okay, so I love you. Okay. Then highlight it and start playing with the different fonts that you have just to see how things look. Because you'll find different people like different things. It's kind of fun. And you'll get a chance to see what else is out there. Okay. So this type of typography is called sans serif. It's French for without any little serifs, without any lines. Some people feel that these ones look cleaner and more modern. These are some examples of fonts that have no serifs. Here you can see, this business is mine. We have a program for you. You can do this. Think about where this leads. Do you want help? And what's next for you? You're going to see these a lot more on computer screens. Those little lines can easily get kind of blurry on a tiny little phone. These sans serif type of fonts can just look much cleaner. Some types of typography are called display typography. This is great for headings or subheadings. It would, however, be really hard to read a lot of text with this kind of printing. I'm going to try and make this a little bigger so you can see, because some of them are really quite cute. Okay. This one looks kind of like a stencil. This one is all caps. Here you got, I think this one's called like either Creeper or Thriller. This one has almost like a little shadow effect, or like it was written by a fountain pen. Here's one kind of a gothic-y one. Let's see here. It's kind of, it doesn't follow a straight line, kind of is all over the place. This one I think is called something like Moon Rocks. Isn't that kind of fun? Here we've got that kind of alternation between thick and thin. This one is kind of repetitive lines. And this one I think is very nice. It's got the little fancy lines. It almost looks like something's moving or like somebody's talking. Okay, so we've been talking about a lot of different steps. I wanted to just kind of dial back and talk again about the brochure project. You need to choose a topic. You need to do some research on your topic. Not an enormous amount. This is a small brochure is not a place where you're going to be writing, entire chapter. It's tiny. You want some small little bullet points. Think about your audience and the point of view. Write your text in small chunks or paragraphs. You'll want to use headings and subheadings. You want to include contact information. You need to choose a color scheme, create a layout for each page and the overall look. You need to include some sort of pictures, photos, or charts. Want to try and make your typography interesting. Most computers default to either Arial or Calibri. So really, they're very clear and clean, but they're kind of boring. That's all. Be sure to proofread your work and make sure your name is included in the brochure so I know whose it is. Okay. Again, I've got close to 60 students right now. So if you don't put your name on, I won't know who the work is. Again, beginning name and last name, please. Okay. Oop. Dial back out. Okay, so this is a large project. It's okay to break the project into smaller chunks. In fact, I think you would have to. There's so much here to tackle. And I wanted to say, sometimes setting a timer for 30 minutes can be like a workable amount of time to start a difficult task. And then you give yourself a small break, like a quick walk or a cup of coffee, and you tackle another 30 minutes. The other thing you can do sometimes is to assign yourself a task, but it has to be like a smaller task. Like you couldn't just say, research all the information, right? That's too big a task. It's going to take you longer than 30 minutes. You might be able to do something like pick a brochure off of Canva or look at some of my favorite typographies, right? So this is a huge media project. Please take your time and go over this in depth. I am going to back up a little bit. Oh, I took them out. I don't have it. I was going to show you some of those examples. Okay, I don't want to move forward because we've only got about 10, 15 minutes left. So I'm going to kind of walk through as if I were going to be making my brochure. Start my page. I'm going to grab my table, put my 3 lines there. This isn't Google, it's a little bit different, so it won't look quite the same, I don't think. Oh, harder to use. Okay, so I've got my template. It's pretty close to equal. I think in my example, I talked about alcohol addiction. I'm probably going to kind of stick with that. So I am thinking that I'm writing a pamphlet, maybe for the hospital down here in Minoyuwin, for their addictions program. I'm trying to reach out to people, let them know what we have for alcohol addictions. So that's going to be my topic that I would research. Maybe I would talk about the warning signs of alcohol or the steps to enter the program, some of the things we do in the program. Trying to think of colors. Like I want the colors to be really hopeful, which makes me tend to think, maybe because it's the hospital, that colors like in the blue scheme or the green, maybe some hints of yellow, make me just kind of think of what I want. So I'm going to make myself just a little tiny color bar right here that I'm going to use to kind of work from so that I keep track of what my colors are going to be. I'm going to grab 5 colors just to be on the safe side. Let me see if it'll do it. Oh, can I spin it? Oh, some things will let you spin. This one won't let me spin. Hang on a second. Okay. All right. So I would just fill in my colors here and then just put it down here near the bottom or on the side. Just so I've got which colors I'm going to be continually using. It's really easy for the colors to sort of blend in. So if I go up here, okay. Now I can use some of these basic colors, but I probably am really going to go into custom colors. Okay. So this is the color spectrum. So up here, you've got the brightest colors. And as you go down, they get more and more gray or desaturated, right? Like down here, that's the color it is. It'll be that kind of all the way along, right? As I move out of it, like that gray is a little bit more red. If I choose a gray over here, it's going to be a little more purple. When I grab that color, whatever color it is, no matter where I am in here, I can always go lighter all the way up to pure white or darker all the way down to pure black. Okay, so you can literally get just about any color that the computer is capable of making just from going to here. Okay, so I said I wanted a blue. So I'm going to kind of go up here. I don't like, this is too far down, sorry. I'm going to go up in kind of the lighter range. That's too purple. Let's see if I can go more. Nope, that's too aqua. I don't like that. Let me see, maybe I just need to go lighter. I like that. I'll add that to my custom colors. Again, mine works a little bit differently than yours. Yeah, I like that. That makes me think of like nurses and stuff. And now I'm going to grab the same kind of thing, but darker. So you can see it stayed where I was. This is a great way for me to just pull this down a little bit and get a darker color. Yeah, I can pull it over a little bit. Oh, that's too purple. I don't like that. It's nice. It's not quite in the aqua, but it's almost there. It's over here now. And yep, I like that difference. Okay. Like I said, I'm just going to grab my colors first. Okay. I think I want a green now. And I'm kind of keeping it at the same spot because I wanted the same shade with the same kind of grays. So I can make it more aqua-ish, or I could move it over here to the yellow greeny. I don't like that at all. Right there in the middle suits me. Okay, add to custom colors. Again, yours will work slightly differently. Now I want a lighter green, kind of like that. So again, same thing. And I'm going to just stay there and move this up. Let's see. To me, there's not enough difference between those colors. I think I want to make this one a little bit darker. So I'm going to go back and go in and just pull it down a little bit. Oh, there. And I don't know if I turn it a little. No, I don't like that. Huh. I'm going to pull it down a little bit more. Okay. Yeah, that's a little bit more different. And I might leave that white, or I was thinking about having like a little touch of yellow. And you can see the analogous colors, right? Because I've got blue and yellow make green. So a yellow would be really nice to have there just for a little tiny touch of color. But I don't want it too bright, I don't think. Let's see. Yeah. Maybe there. Okay. So now I have my color scheme. I might also use the white. Once I've got that, I'm going to be thinking about the big layout. Like, what am I going to have for pictures? What am I going to have for the text? Remembering that this is my front, here's my back, here's page 5, and then I'm going to have the interior. So I might do my interior all kind of swayed together, but here I really want my back and my front to look different. So I'm going to fill in the back right away. I want that color. Now it should show up as a color I used recently. So I'm just going to dump it. Well, let me do, okay, good. I like that. I'm going to dump that there. I want this to look similar, but I don't want it to be another thing of blue. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab an oval and yeah, I like that. Okay, hang on. Oh, I didn't want that. Sorry. I forgot with this program, till I go over there, it won't do things. That I'm going to erase and that I'm going to erase. Okay. So I can grab on this to make it a little bit longer. It won't necessarily make it thicker though. Okay. Oh, sorry. I'm not sure what happened there. I'm going to back up a step. Okay. I'm going to put, why does it keep doing that? I don't like that at all. Let me see here. Okay. I'm not going to touch it. I'm afraid if I touch it, it's going to keep talking. And it did it. Okay, so this is the frustrating part of doing these kind of things. Things will disappear. Things will be frustrating. There's just no way around it. It does happen when you're doing this. The nice thing about Google is Google will save your work as you go along. Okay, I give up. I'll just let it be that way. I'm going to dump the blue here into there. I didn't want it to be quite that way, but that's fine. So the blue in there. No, I wanted it in the shape. Okay. I'm going to back up. I wonder if, let me see, shape. Okay. With Google, I would know how to turn this line blue, and that would be what I might do. I still can use this. You know what? Okay, here it is, line color. So I can still grab my color, so it's still in my same color scheme. And, okay. So I've grabbed that color. I think I can make it thicker. Okay, here. I could make it quite thick if I wanted to. Let me see if that'll work. Okay, here you go. That's kind of what I was looking for. All right, I'm going to erase this one. And I'm going to move this over. Okay. So now you can see I'm sorry, that's just my program. I'm beginning to try and echo some of the colors, right? So I've got the blue. I would maybe want a little lighter blue inside of there. That would look nice. See if I can make that work. Okay. And you can see it's just me kind of fiddling around with things. Oh, sorry, that I'm not sure what's going on with that. That's kind of a problem with my computer program. All right. So I would think about, where do I want some blocks of text? Where do I want some shapes? Should be able to grab this and move it. No, it's not letting me. Okay. I'm going to grab some other shapes, just kind of show you. This program doesn't happen to have as many shapes as some of the other programs would, but this is an example. Okay, so let's say down here. Oh, okay. And then I go up to my pointer. It is being fussy. I apologize. And here, I must be triggering something, but I don't know what I'm triggering. I'm just going to leave it where it is and fill the color in there. Okay. So maybe I put, okay. My apologies, because it's just not quite working. I'm used to using Google Docs for this, or Google Slides, and it's just not wanting to do what I'm asking it to do. So anyways, this is what you're doing. You can see in just like 5-10 minutes, I've figured out my colors. I've begun to think about what kind of shapes I want on the page. I could even like use these little boxes to block out where I want some of the text. if I haven't finished doing my research, and then just put the text in there later. So let's say I wanted, okay, text up here. Okay. I could just leave that there until I'm ready to fill it in. And then later on, if I I grab that, I could turn it, well, whatever color. I'll do it. Let me see if I'll do it. Okay. I could change the color. So if I was over here and I didn't want the text box to show after all, I just grab it white, turn it white, and all of a sudden we're okay. So there's just so much here to play with. I really encourage you to take a look around and figure this out. If you're having trouble, if you're getting frustrated, by all means call me. But there's also, I included 2 short videos on the YouTube. One is showing you how to use Canva. One is showing you how to use Google Slides. There are also all sorts of great videos on YouTube that show you how to do this far more effectively than I can. Where am I? Let's see. Oh, there's several examples of hand-drawn brochures in case anybody wants to do it that way. If you're not comfortable using the computer, by all means, you're welcome to do a hand-drawn one. The only thing I ask is make sure you don't send me your only copy. Take a picture of it and send that, or photocopy it and send me that. I wouldn't want you to lose all your hard done work. I think it's harder because I would find it frustrating myself if I made a mistake and then kind of mess things up. But it is totally fine if you feel comfortable with your artistic skills to hand that in to me. We have really kind of covered everything we need to cover, and we will tackle some more information tomorrow. I know you probably aren't really done your brochures, but we'll just have to move on to some new ideas tomorrow. Don't worry about that, though. You can kind of watch these as you go along. All right. Thank you so much for coming today, and I hope you have a good time working on this brochure.